Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today at Moderate Divide, a place where we take a moderate, non-emotional look at two sides of a topic. Today's topic, gay rights. Here we go. Well, thanks for having me back. I'm Pastor Michael. Today I'd like to talk about why I don't believe we should be forced to call the homosexual relationship the same thing as what God created between a man and a woman. Look, I don't hate gay people, I just think that they're living in sin, and I don't think we should be forced to normalize their behavior. Hello, I'm Dylan, and I'm here to stand up for the rights of our LGBTQ plus friends. Just because their bodies and drives might be different from your own, that doesn't give you the right to treat them as if they're inferior or if they're less than you. Gay people have the right to feel normal in our society. So to clarify, you yourself are not gay or LGBL or any of the letters, right? Correct, but I am an ally. So then why is this something that concerns you? Why are you so interested in making sure this happens? I care because I care about people's lives. I don't think I should sit here silently just because it doesn't affect me personally. I get that you're trying to help. From your perspective, you're trying to help someone out. But from my perspective, they're trying to normalize this sinful behavior. So when you align yourself with them, that makes you guilty by association. Guilty? I mean, who's getting hurt? If it's two consenting adults, if it's different than what I want, I don't care. Have at it. You have fun. I mean, would you feel the same way if it were someone wanting a threesome? I would also be against that. I think sex belongs between a man and his wife, not between two men, two women, two men and a woman. It's just a man, wife. Right, so are you trying to pass a law against threesomes? Well, you've got to pick your battles, but if a threesome tried to adopt kids or get married, then yes, I would definitely be fighting against them too. Fair point, but let's go back to your question. How is this affecting you? If two gay people get married, what, you'll see two dudes holding hands? I mean, if God is love, why try to stop it? Well, yes, God is love, but sin is sin. Here's how it affects me. If I see two men holding hands and I have a negative reaction, I will be attacked for it, simply for expressing displeasure. You've been physically attacked? Maybe not physically, but we are harassed. We are labeled as hateful simply because we have beliefs. This is an attack on our Christian culture. But that's not about your beliefs. That's about you expressing displeasure and then saying no one can respond to you. You can be a Christian, you just can't hold other people to that standard. It's God's standard. And our motto is, in God we trust. Okay, trust God to take care of it. You don't personally need to try to revoke their legal rights. Don't try to treat them as if they're less than you because they're gay. Look, when you feel strongly about something, you pick a side and you defend a side. You're defending a side right now. You're right, I'm gonna have an opinion. And even if my opinion is different than yours, as long as no one's getting hurt, I try to choose tolerance. You claim that you're choosing tolerance, yet right now you're trying to silence me. Right, but I said as long as no one's getting hurt. If you're constantly telling a gay person that their life doesn't matter, this can have a very damaging effect on them. The intolerance is coming from you, and I'm standing up against it. Well, speaking of making choices, we have a social media comment which reads, "If you can choose to be gay, we should be able to choose whether or not to serve you. Equal rights means we both have the right to choose." Look, first, being gay isn't a choice, but I think no matter where someone falls on the spectrum, we just need to get the point across that straight doesn't need to be the default. That doesn't need to be the normal. Well, no, it's absolutely a choice. Any sin is a choice. If you choose to do something unnatural and against God's will, you have made the choice to sin. I mean, you say it's a sin, you say it's not natural, but science says that's not true. I mean, we keep finding examples of homosexual relationships in nature, in the animal kingdom. Wait, are you trying to compare homosexuals to animals? I'm not wow. Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is that gay people are the same as straight people. They want to have jobs, they want to adopt, they want to have their lives. They're not looking for special treatment, they just want equal treatment. Well, if you want to talk about natural, let's look at the dynamic between men and women. Men are strong, women are gentle. The man can brute force and the woman can caress her way through something. This dynamic, this teamwork doesn't exist in a same-sex couple relationship. Do we get to a time machine here? I mean, if that's your starting point, such a rigid and archaic viewpoint, then we're going to have so many issues before we even get to gay marriage. Yes, but that's kind of the point. Each issue might seem like just a tiny concession, but if you look back over 50 years and you see how many concessions we've made, you can see just how far our morality has crumbled. It's not going to end until we put our foot down and say no. We are going to hold to what morality we have left. Okay, I'm going to reel this back into the question. The question was, should we be allowed to discriminate against gay people? Yes, Michael, it's clear that you want to make sure that you have the right to express your religion, but how is that different from a gay person wanting to express love in their way? The issue is not that they want to be gay. The issue is they want to be gay and get married and have kids. They demand that you respect them for being different, but then they demand that you treat them with all the same benefits and privileges. I mean, isn't that what everyone wants? To be unique yet accepted? But I mean, back to the question. If we allow discrimination toward a gay person, it just opens the floodgates. Can a pharmacist deny birth control for religious reasons? Should a firefighter let an atheist's house burn down? Can a judge sentence a Christian more harshly? You know, we actually had this discussion in a previous episode. It was about the bakery owner who was asked to make a gay cake and the federal employee who had to give out a marriage certificate to a gay couple. It was determined, federal employee, yes, you must do your job. However, if you own a business, you should not be forced to do business with someone you disagree with. You shouldn't be forced to participate in something that's against your beliefs. So a judge or a firefighter, no, but a server, maybe? I mean, would you feel the same way if the server said they wouldn't serve you for your religion? Well, no, that would be religious discrimination. Right, but how is that different from discriminating against their orientation? Gay marriage is trying to change the definition of marriage. I don't have a problem that they're gay. My problem is that they're trying to change marriage to fit their agenda. Let me read you this social media comment. If your goal is truly equality, you can't talk about gay rights. It should just be rights in general. For equality to exist, every minute discussing gay rights needs to be followed by a minute discussing straight rights. Exactly, but the problem is they won't do this because the desire is not for actual equality, but to push their own agenda. That's the same flawed logic as all lives matter. It's straight marriage is not under attack, but as a gay person, they face discrimination all the time. We talk about gay rights more than straight rights because straight rights are not under attack. Marriage is between man and woman. If we allow gay marriage to come in there, it taints the whole thing. It makes me participate in your sin. Except you're not part of it. How are you forced to be part of their wedding? You're probably not even invited. Now the problem is, while I'm at the store trying to plan for my wedding, I see this gay couple planning for their wedding. Same venue, same event. The problem is theirs is a perverted version of it. That's what disgusts me. You're disgusted they get the same rights. Okay, so what about cheating? Like, if someone cheats on their spouse, are you then participating in that adultery? Cheating's also disgusting. Right, but do you feel like you're part of it? Are you trying to outlaw adultery? Look, here's the big thing for me. Cheating, it's not good, but it's an action. It happens one time. Homosexuality is a sin that you live in. And when you try to get married, you're trying to normalize that and say, let's just celebrate the sin we're living in. I see, I'm not familiar with your ranking system, but it seems that you're saying that being gay revokes your access to heaven. I can't argue with that. So, do you have any non-religious reasons for wanting to prevent people from getting married if they're gay? Well, no, I mean, God's important in my life, so of course it's going to come up a lot, but I get the point. I guess for me, the question is, how far do we let this degradation of morals go? I mean, we're at gay marriage, but then we're talking about, do we let a boy use a girl's bathroom if he's transsexual? And where does it go from there? Is it animals, children? I mean, we keep going down this path. Where do we stop? That comparison is ridiculously insulting. To compare homosexuality or transgendered people with bestiality and pedophilia, there is consent. No. That is an insulting comparison. I know, I get that, because I feel the same way when you try to compare a homosexual to a regular sexual. No, it's not the same thing at all. But how is it not the same? If transgender is listed as a mental illness and you want to normalize it, how is it that big a leap to go to bestiality or pedophilia? No, neither children nor animals can consent, so that is not the same thing. But the problem here is you can't see a homosexual couple as two people in love. You're right, kids are too young to consent. That's why they shouldn't be pushing a gay agenda on kids at that age. You can be too young to consent, but that doesn't mean you're too young to have a conversation about things. I mean, why wouldn't you want a child to have knowledge? So it doesn't bother you that they put this agenda on children. Their only agenda is to try to help gay people feel comfortable with themselves. Maybe to try to keep straight people from bullying them, but really their goal is to help gay people find their place in the world. But the child's too young to think about sex and probably doesn't even know what orientation is. The purpose of this is to push the gay agenda, to get them used to hearing it, so that when they get older, they're more ready to accept it. I mean, I guess I see gay people as normal people that just like the same gender. I mean, otherwise, they want to get married, they want to adopt kids, They want to have the same lives we do. I disagree. Look, if you don't like gay marriage, that's your right, but your goal shouldn't be to try to teach kids the same hatred. Yeah, but for every kid you're trying to convince that the gay agenda is okay, they were made by a pair of straight parents. If you want a non-biblical reason why I don't think that the gay agenda is natural, just look at childbirth. Well, look, if this agenda is making kids less bigoted, less hateful, and more open-minded, I'd say that's a check in the win column. Well, now let's get our final thoughts so I can pronounce this ceremony as completed. We just need to stop resisting change. We need to stop discriminating against every new thing. If you want to be a Christian, great. If you want to be gay, great. Just don't hate the person simply because they exist. Just keep your personal sins personal. If I don't know what you're doing, I can't criticize it. But as soon as you feel like you should be able to broadcast your sins, I should be able to broadcast how I feel about it, even if it's negative. Well, you know what we say here. You don't have to agree, you just have to see their point. So Dylan, what's Michael's point? Michael believes that homosexual relationships are wrong. He doesn't believe that we should give them equal rights. In fact, he feels that that invalidates his own rights. He feels that society is trying to force him to accept something he believes is wrong. And Michael? What about Dylan? Dylan believes that we should accept pretty much any type of relationship as long as it's between consenting adults. He thinks if you disagree, if they're not hurting anyone, keep it to yourself. Dylan doesn't see this as a departure of morals, he just sees it as being open-minded. He sees this as something that should be accepted and normalized. Well, here we are, at the end of another episode of Moderate Divide. If you'd like to add any comments or think of anything we missed, drop them below. Hurry back!